So I just watched Guillermo Del Toro's new Pinocchio movie, and it's really damn good. It's without a doubt the best Pinocchio movie that came out this year, and I haven't even seen the other two. But what is it about this movie that makes it so great? Let's discuss. I'll start off with the obvious. The animation is fantastic. It's genuinely some of the best stop motion I have ever seen. The animation alone makes this movie worth watching, honestly, and that's not even the only thing I love about it. The story is also great. It's very similar to a lot of other Pinocchio adaptations, but there's quite a lot of changes made that make it feel very unique. For example, unlike the other versions, this one isn't set in the 1800s, but in 1930s fascist Italy, which makes for an incredibly interesting setting that is worked into the story wonderfully. Hell, Mussolini's even in the movie, voiced by Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, which is strange to think about. The characters are also pretty great. They're very fun and are voiced wonderfully by an amazing cast. There's obviously a lot of characters we already know from previous adaptations, like Pinocchio himself or Geppetto, but there's also some new characters, like the Podesta, who plays a similar role to the coachman from the original, and Count Volpe, who's sort of a mix between Honest John and Stromboli. Both are great characters. The way Pinocchio and Geppetto's relationship is handled in this movie is also really good and much more interesting than in any other version of this story I've seen. The movie is overall a lot darker than some other Pinocchio adaptations, which I love. The setting of fascist Italy that I mentioned before obviously helps with that, but there's a lot more. It's also a musical, which I actually didn't know before watching, so I was quite surprised when Pinocchio suddenly started singing. But luckily the songs are actually pretty good, and not at all intrusive. There's not really that many of them, and they're used in ways that make sense in the story. I think even people that don't like musicals could at least tolerate it. After watching this movie, I got a little curious how it compared to the old Disney one. So I decided to go back and watch that one as well, and I honestly prefer the Del Toro one. The Disney version is still quite good. It's a classic for a reason, it has a lot of charm and is animated beautifully. But I do have some issues with the way the story is told. Issues that this new one mostly fixes. Both versions are pretty different though, so I'd say it's worth watching both of them. So that's why I love this movie. There's a lot of stuff I didn't mention to avoid spoilers, since I do really want you all to see this movie for yourself. It's a fantastic film with great characters, great music, and a great emotional story. If you've seen the movie already, let me know in the comments what you thought of it, I'd love to know. So that was it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye!
I like puppets.